Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Farah and today is going to be the start of my September vlog. It's September 1st, so I like to start my vlogs right in the beginning of each month because it helps me organize and kind of know when I film the intro and like where I can look back on my phone for what videos I filmed. But anyway, it's a beautiful day. It's Sunday, the first day of September, and we are winding down the summer break because the girls start school on Wednesday, a couple days from now. And it's sad, you know. I feel the same sadness that I felt when I was young and summer break was over. But it's just funny how it like all comes back to you. But anyway, I'm kind of glad that they'll be going back to school. But with that comes our busy schedule again. Sports, soccer, volleyball, and softball for the fall is what we have. So it should be busy, but I really enjoyed my little break from Booktube. I took pretty much most of July and August off, so I didn't watch Booktube that much, and I didn't, I still was filming vlogs, but I didn't, I just didn't post much, but it was really nice to have that break. So thank you to everyone who was patient with me during that time. You're probably seeing this video way later, but as I'm filming this now, this is where I'm like finally getting back into filming. So just want to tell you real quickly what I'm reading, what I'm going to be reading for this vlog. I'm still working on my big books of summer because there are still 3 weeks of summer left. And I did finally finish Clarissa, so that was a huge accomplishment for me. I felt so happy that I finished that. I'm on to, as far as the Bible's going, I'm into the Acts now. I'm almost done with the Acts chapter, which is great. And I'm just reading according to my plan that I'm doing with the Bible recap. So that's just going to be a little bit each day. I'll probably finish that, I would guess, in October. Stephen King, Nightmares and Dreamscapes is another big one I'm working on. I am probably about a quarter of the way through this. So this, I'm just reading like a story or two a day if I can get to it. So I would imagine I'm not going to finish it in September, but you never know. So those are the books that I'm just like reading a little bit each day as of now. Oh, and I'm also working on my my nature writing book called Summer, an Anthology of the Changing Seasons. I read and reviewed Spring, which I read a couple months ago, which was great. And I'm really enjoying this one. I'll talk a little bit more about that later. So those are the books that I'm reading kind of just a little bit each day. So for my audiobook, I decided to try A Court of Thorns and Roses, I think it's called, ACOTAR, by Sarah J. Maas. And I don't really know what this book is about, but I've heard it talked about so many times on Booktube and Goodreads, and so when our lovely Booktube friend MJ switched over to Fable and announced that she was going to do a group read for that, I was like, oh yeah, this is perfect. I can dive in and read this with some of you guys so that it's, you know, kind of a fun reading experience. So I just got the audio for that. I started listening to it, so I'll give you my thoughts when I do a catch up later. And then for let's see, I have a couple books that I could pick. I also really would like to pick up Postern of Fate, the next book in my Agatha Christie project, because I started it, but the audio wasn't working, so I have to do physical for that. What else? I think that's going to be it for now. I'm just going to walk back and enjoy the rest of this evening, read a little bit more, and I will check in with you guys soon. Hey guys, it's a beautiful summer night and I'm outside looking for the northern lights again, and I hear this owl out here. I'm going to try to be quiet, see if you can hear it. I think that's an owl. I don't know my owls well enough It's either that or coyotes, but I'm not sure. Pretty cool though. I don't hear those very often. So what is that? Anyway, I saw some faint pink pillars of the northern lights here. I can't get over, I've seen them this is my 4th time this summer seeing them. I mean, the first time in May when I did my vlog was definitely the strongest, most powerful that a lot of the US and parts of the UK saw, but I've seen like little versions of it since then. It's been really fun. So I'm going to stand out here for a little bit longer, listen to the owl. Okay guys, I'm out on a walk and I thought I'd just do a quick update. So far I'm really enjoying Summer in Anthology of Changing Seasons, which is the collection of essays, nature essays, that I'm reading that all have to do with things going on during summer nature-wise, like kind of what makes the season feel like summer. You know, some of those things that are really special about this particular time of year where it's warm and it's kind of we're at the peak of growth and harvest and fruits and color and flowers and animals are really active and things like that. So I actually am really liking this one, the summer installment. I think I like it even more than spring, to be honest. And so far, like pretty much every single essay I've written, I've really enjoyed. There have been a couple that have been a little bit boring, I'm not gonna lie, but some of the poetry that's been in there I've really liked, and I think maybe next year I'll do a couple shorts having to do with some of the poems that I found in it for the season. So it's really beautiful. I really recommend so far. I mean, I've really enjoyed the spring and the summer installments of this, and then in a couple weeks, well, I should be done with summer very soon. I'm at least halfway through it. But in a little while, I'll definitely be starting autumn. And I think what's fun is to read it as you start the season or even a little bit before, because during the transitional seasons like fall and spring, it just sometimes goes so fast, especially here in the Northeast. One day it'll feel like winter, and the next day it'll feel very warm. So that these transitions are really quick. But in these seasons that are longer, have longer stretches like summer or winter, I think it's fun to spread it out across the whole season. So really enjoying the writing. I'm enjoying especially the contemporary contributions from more modern writers. It gives you a lot to think about. It lets you sort of just be aware of the moment, you know, when you're walking around. If you're able to see nature and have the privilege to, you know, be outside on a daily basis and witness these changes, it just opens your eyes and helps you notice things, you know, kind of, what's the saying that my kids are always like, be demure, be more mindful, you know, that's exactly it. I feel very demure and mindful reading this book. And, you know, I try to, showcase that in my vlogs, just taking these little moments to look at nature close up and listen and hear the bugs. And this series is nice because it does focus a lot on birds and flowers, and you know, it's nice. There's a section on, there's a lot of writing about insects, which is really cool because they just make it so poetic and beautiful talking about these larvae, believe it or not. So very much enjoying spring. And let's change to a different location for my next book. All right, so for audio, I started A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. And this book has been on my TBR for ages and ages. And I thought, okay, yeah, this is a great time to start that. I'm in the mood for it. And I just kind of want to see what all the fuss is about. This has been such a hyped up book. And I really didn't have any idea what it was about. So I went in blindly. And I guess it's like a YA fantasy, more in the upper age group of YA though. Probably a little bit more like new adult, like early 20s something year olds. And yeah, this one's pretty good. I actually am really enjoying it. This tells a story, if you don't already know about this one, but it tells a story of this girl named Farah. She's about 19. She lives with her dad and her two older sisters. They've recently come into poverty and they're really struggling. She has to go outside and hunt for food. And her sisters are, the typical mean sisters, just selfish. The dad is like super depressed from the death of the spouse. There's a lot of tropes going on within this that I noticed right away. She's kind of giving this chosen one vibe, and she's very good at hunting. She's smart. She's very Katniss-like with her bow and arrow, and sort of emotionally distancing herself from relationships and things like that. So she accidentally makes a huge mistake and ends up being captured by this group of fae who take her back to their land, and it's basically a retelling of Beauty and the Beast, a loose retelling of that. So far it's really good. Like I said, it is a bit tropey, but it works. I'm having a good time with it. I'm not overanalyzing it. It's just pure fun right now. The writing's nice. Two things that are throwing me off though. Anytime a book takes place in a fairy tale like world hundreds of years ago, I always kind of assume it's going to be told in a British accent, but this audiobook is told in an American accent. So that is throwing me off a little bit. It's just different to hear it in the American accent. Also, their language is very modern, so their insults are things that we would say in this day and age. So that's also throwing me out. That coupled with the American accent, I just feel like it would work better done in a British accent, but that's just me. Just something I noticed. So those are the two of the books that I'm currently reading. I'm also still working on Stephen King, Nightmares and Dreamscapes, and that I'm doing a little bit each day, and I'll have a separate vlog for that. And I am also finishing up the Bible, part of the greatest books of all time, challenge that I'm doing. The Bible's going really well. I'm into Acts, which has been a really nice chapter. It's very easy to read, very easy to follow. They're kind of recapping some things, so I am really enjoying that. I did enjoy Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John quite a bit as well. And my only complaint about that is it's very repetitive because it's telling the same story over and over. But there's the wrap up for now. I'm getting eaten alive over here, so I'm going to keep going on my walk. Hey guys, just doing another check-in here. If you see me going like this, it's because I have a kitty. All right, so A Court of Thorns and Roses. This was my audiobook. I ended up ditching the audio. I don't know what it was. I think the voice actor they used for this book, she just wasn't fitting Farah for me. I don't know, the voice didn't match very well with what I was picturing the character to be. And I don't know, I just couldn't get into it. So I decided to give up on the audio. I tried 2 different versions and neither of them worked. So I just ended up physically reading this. I did purchase a copy just so I had it to read. And it has been going so much better since I did that. I feel like I'm able to form a better version of Farah in my mind and the characters. And Farah isn't, I don't want to say annoying me, but she's just more likable a little bit more now that I have my own voice assigned to her, I guess you could say. So the story, I'm probably about halfway through, and it's still kind of moving a little slowly. This book was banned, and I have no idea why. I can't see anything that's sticking out to me as far as why it would be banned. But yeah, it's going pretty well so far. I think there's one thing that she's really good at, the author, is really creating a world that you can visualize. So I do like the world that I'm in. As I said before, it's very tropey though. It's kind of following a formula that I've read before. So it's nothing that's really shocking me or surprising me. We do have a new introduction of a new character named Rysand, who is dark and mysterious and very handsome. So I have a feeling he's going to be a future love interest mixed in there, maybe a possible love triangle between Farah and Tamlin. And I guess my only critique would be that Farah and Tamlin, to me, I don't sense a ton of chemistry. Their characters are both very flat. There's not a huge amount of depth within either of them. I don't know, I can't put my finger on it, but it's really hard for me to care about their relationship if they're getting together. We don't get enough redeeming qualities about either of them for me to understand what's so attractive and likable about both of them. Of course, Tamlin, I mean, this is supposed to be kind of a loose retelling of Beauty and the Beast, and he is not a beast at all. He basically, in my mind, looks like think Chris Helmsworth dressed as Thor. That's what Tamlin looks like to me, except just put a mask over his face. So I'm sorry, but that is far from a beast. Very physically attractive, I'm assuming this character is supposed to be. Farah, she's not really just physically described, so I don't know if she's really exceptionally beautiful for a human, or if Tamlin's attracted to her because she's a human, so she's kind of different, or if he's seeing more of an amazing personality within her that I'm not seeing. So I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I don't really get the two of them. I really like the character of Lucian. I think he's more dynamic. He has more personality. He's funny. He's kind of a little loose cannon a little bit. I really like him. And even Alice, Farah's servant, or I don't know, helper, she even has more personality. So that unfortunately is a little bit of a negative hit for me with this book. But as I said, now that I'm reading it physically, I'm getting into it more. And I think that I've heard that the book picks up quite a bit after the halfway mark. So hopefully we'll get a little more enjoyment out of this book. I mean, I still like it. I'm still enjoying it. I'm enjoying reading it. So I really am not complaining. It's a book that I would like. I like these kind of books. So if I had read this if I read this in my 20s, I think I would have devoured it. But I am enjoying it, and I'm going to be bringing it with me when we go to Lancaster for our final camping trip in a couple days. So that's A Court of Thorns and Roses. And then the other one, I finished my summer book, my summer and Anthology of the Changing Seasons. That was really nice. It was just, I wouldn't say it's anything groundbreaking or truly beautiful or magical, but for a book that I could pick up every morning and read and reflect on the season, I really enjoyed it for what it was worth. And I'll be definitely picking up the autumn book very soon. And that is this book. So Autumn I'll put a picture of the cover up here, but Autumn is a beautiful cover. It is red and blue, and it just has the changing season and the changing leaves, and I'm really excited to get into this one. I think I'm going to really like this one. And then finally, I guess the only other update I wanted to share was still slogging my way through Stephen King's Nightmare and Dreamscapes. This is the short story collection, and I'm probably a little over a third of the way done, not quite halfway. And this one's just okay. I probably shouldn't have picked this one as my very first Stephen King. I never anticipated it would take me this long to read it. It's just I really have to be in the mood to pick this up. Of the stories I've read so far, it's he's gross. Stephen King is gross, and that's fun. It can be fun sometimes, but it's not something that I'm always in the mood to read. So I would say the biggest chunk of time I have to reading are first thing in the morning and then in the evening, like close to bedtime. And sometimes I just don't want to read this before I go to sleep. I don't want to feel that grossed out, icky feeling in the morning before work or right before I go to bed. So my challenge with this is finding times I can sit down and read a whole story and not be worried that it's going to affect my mood. Because I do get really affected by horror and by mysteries, and well, not mysteries, but thrillers, anything where there's danger or grossness or violence. It does affect me, and I kind of carry it in me for a little while. So that's why I don't read a ton of horror on this channel. I'm trying to get better about it. Not letting it bother me. But of the stories I've read, I just finished Sneakers, which was kind of a ghost story, and it was pretty good. It was the ending was kind of, I don't want to say lame, but a little bit lame. So the next one I have on my list is They Got a Hell of a Band, which I have heard is a pretty good one. So I might try to read that today. I had the day off. It's going to rain. I think it'd be a good time to read this. So that's my update. As I said, we're going to be heading to our final camping trip to Lancaster County, Pennsylvania in a couple days. So I'm going to pick up the vlog starting with that. So I do hope I can finish Court of Thorns and Roses. I'm going to pick a new audiobook after that. Go from there. It's the middle of September, so we'll see how far I can get. Yeah, we'll go from there. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I hope you're having a wonderful day. Please let me know in the comments if there's anything that you've read recently that's been really good or that you've enjoyed or anything that you're really excited to get to in October. So thanks again for watching. Take care, and I will see you soon.